Welcome MP Tim Uppal, the PC and Canadian politician, banker and radio host who is a member of Edmonton Millwoods in the Parliament of Canada and who served also on the Conservative Member of Parliament Edmonton Sherwood Park from 2008 and 2000 till 2015. Welcome in Oxygen with Rami.
Thank you, Rami. Thank you for having me. I know how this is a very popular show, so I'm very excited to be on your show today.
Thank you very much. We will talk today about the anti-corruption motion that wasn't passed in the Parliament last week. And so what is the motion?
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's about why do we need a motion like this? And I think it's sad. It's very unfortunate that in a country like Canada, where we are seen around the world as a country of, democracy and freedom and, a good government, it's very sad that we need a motion like this to create a anti-corruption committee. This is something that you hear in many other countries, that you hear about all this corruption, and unfortunately, we need to look into that here with this government, the Liberal government and Justin Trudeau. As you know, and you'll remember that during this pandemic, it was Justin Trudeau and his Liberal government that tried to give a contract to an organization that was very close to him. And how close were they? Well, this organization actually had hired his mother, so Justin Trudeau's mother, and she received a significant amount of money for fees and travel and other costs. This organization paid his brother, Justin Trudeau's brother. Justin Trudeau's finance minister got free travel from this organization, actually was fired because of it. So this is an organization that's very connected to Justin Trudeau and the Trudeau family. And they got almost a $500 million contract. So this is why we wanted to look into it. We want to look at the contracts. We want to look at other reasons of why were they getting money and not other organizations? Why weren't other organizations properly considered? And so, we tried to have this investigation under the Ethics Committee and the Finance Committee. But unfortunately, first of all, Justin Trudeau broke Parliament, so he just shut down those investigations. But once Parliament did get going, we weren't able to do it. The Liberals kept what we call filibustering, so they kept wasting time, delaying, and wouldn't let us do this. So we brought forward this motion that would create a special committee, the Anti-Corruption Committee, that would be chaired by an opposition member, and we could properly look into this and investigate this. The unfortunate thing is that Justin Trudeau, for the first time in Canadian history, made the creation of a committee a confidence motion. So essentially that if it passes, we would go into an election. And we know Canadians don't want to go into an election. And so what we want to do is to look into the corruption. This is Canadians' money. We want to see what's going on and ensure transparency for Canadians. But we know that we didn't want to go into an election. So although we voted for the motion itself did not pass. So right now we will look at other ways to dig in further and really investigate what's been going on with this We scandal.
The motion didn't pass. So what do you think the next steps in order to let the Canadians know their government should be responsible and accountable about these scandals?
Yeah, you're right. It is important that Canadians know, and like I said, it's Canadians' money. This is their tax dollars that should be spent on healthcare, that should be spent on helping businesses open up again, helping Canadians pay the bills, pay their mortgages. But yet, this money is going to Justin Trudeau's friends. So we want to look into it. What's going on? And so what we can do is what we're trying to do is to continue this investigation under the Ethics Committee, and we will continue to do that because it's important that we do that. We do have the numbers at the Ethics Committee. If we can work with all the parties to work together, which isn't always easy to do, but we will continue to work and do our investigation at that committee. But I'm sure the Liberals will continue to stall and play political tricks so they don't have to deal with this. But we will keep fighting for Canadians.
Okay, my last question is about the early elections. Do you think that Canadians need an early elections right now, or because of the COVID and other hard economic circumstances, it is not desired right now?
Yeah, I mean, we had an election just 1 year ago. It's just, this October, it was just 1 year.
Yeah.
And so Canadians don't need an election. They need a government that is focused on them and helping them, helping with their health care, helping with them, their economic situation, helping them get through this pandemic. But unfortunately, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are trying to create an election because they're focused about, on their own election results, not on Canadians. We, as conservatives, we're focused on Canadians. We want to help Canadians, and that's what we will do. We don't want an election, but you know what? If Justin Trudeau creates a scenario where there is an election, or maybe even if he calls an election, we will be ready. We will be ready to take him on, and during the election, ask all the questions that Canadians would need to know about, the health spending and about and giving support for small businesses to be able to hire more Canadians and get the economy going again. That's what's important, and that's what we're focused on.
Okay, before we end this interesting interview, do you have any comments, final comments?
My only final comment is thank you to, for shows like yours, Rami, that are out there and giving Canadians good information about what's happening in Parliament, because this is important. Like I said, it's Canadians' money. They should know how it's spent, but it's also, you need to know that the deficit is massive now. It's the highest it's ever been. The debt itself is over $1 trillion, and this money that's being spent is going to be paid back by not our kids, but even their grandkids and further generations. And so it's very important that we look at how the government is working. And so thank you for giving that good information that people need to know what's actually happening here, and what the decisions that are made here, the decisions that we're talking about, will affect Canadians directly. It'll affect what their health looks like. We have been asking for rapid testing that's already happening in the United States for COVID, happening in Europe. Why don't we have that rapid testing in Canada? Why are we just now talking about it, just now getting it, when we have been calling for it for quite some time? We should have rapid testing here. We should have home testing here. We should have, ventilators ready to go, working. We should have more of them. Why was Canada not ready for the second wave? We should have been ready. So those are questions that need to be answered, and we're here asking those questions for you.
Tim Uppal, the PC MP for Midwoods, Edmonton Midwoods, thank you very much for this short interview, and looking forward to see you again in Oxygen with Rami.
Very good. Thank you, and I look forward to coming back.
Thank you.